Welcome to the Lawless Astrology channel. My name is Dabney and I am an evolutionary astrologer. Today we're going to be looking at the Mars-Pluto opposition, which is a kind of a big deal. And we're starting to see that in action. It doesn't actually become exact until January 3rd, but it's here. It's arrived for our New Year's celebrations. And we're also going to look at the fact that today, December 30th, is the Capricorn new moon. So we're going to talk a little bit about that and the general energy around this new year. So if this is content you're interested in, I do hope you stick around. What we do on this channel is we look at how the cosmos affects us down here on planet Earth, how we can live a more conscious and peaceful life using the planetary energies. So let's dig in. So first of all, I just want to say I hope everyone had a lovely Christmas or Hanukkah or Kwanzaa, which I think Kwanzaa is just starting. Either way, I hope you had a lovely holiday. I got lots of Christmas wishes and I'm very grateful for that. I got a nice little break and got to see family. But I have to say, as a Virgo moon, I love January. It's very weird. Everyone in my family hates January. Most people I know hate January. I love it because it is a time for organizing and purging and stopping eating sugar and total detoxification. As much as I love the holiday, I sort of hate it too because I love the twinkling lights. I love the family aspect of it. But I hate the pressure of the presents. I hate the fact that I eat too much sugar and drink too much alcohol. And I just really love that getting healthy feeling. And so the past couple days, I've already started the major yearly purge of the closets and everything. And I love that. So that actually goes a little bit with the theme of the Capricorn new moon, which is today, December 30th. So this will be with us for several days, but anytime there's a new moon, as we've talked about, you want to plant seeds of intention. And the new moon is a time of reflection because it's about getting something that you really are hoping to manifest, but it's just not here yet. Okay, so it's really about intentions. And so it's different than like a resolution, right? A resolution is kind of like a declaration. This is more of a wish in some ways. Okay, so what's Capricorn all about? Capricorn on the high side, and there's always a lower manifestation, but since we're looking at a new moon, I want to focus a little bit more on the high side because we've talked a lot about the shadow of Capricorn. But Capricorn is, if nothing else, incredibly pragmatic. People don't talk about the creativeness of Capricorn because it isn't creative in the way that Leo is creative or Pisces is creative or even Cancer. Capricorn is creative in a resourceful way. You have to be incredibly resourceful to survive in this world. And so Capricorn energy has this ability to kind of find the paths of survival. So Capricorn is ruled by the planet Saturn. And Saturn had to do with the workers and the people that were, the poorer people, the serfs, right? The people that, tilled the soil. But Capricorn is also about ambition and achievement and climbing the ladder and getting somewhere further. And sometimes in order to get somewhere further, the most successful people are those that are strategic and know when to react and when to sit back, know when to kiss the ring and when to walk away. So there's a lot of different things at play when we're talking about Capricorn. So, from a kind of mission in the world standpoint, Capricorn is ambitious and Capricorn is worldly and can make something solid and can build structures. So in our own lives, I like to think of the good father archetype for Capricorn, and this is what I think is going on right now. The good father is someone who is not overly emotional. This is an archetype. All right. So I'm a Cancer. I'm an incredibly emotional, empathic, feeling person. So not glorifying of holding back of emotions, but there's a time and a place for emotions. And so the good father archetype kind of understands when we need to just get serious, when we need to sit back, when we need to just put a Band-Aid on a problem, or when we need to operate, right? So it's kind of like, what is the good father archetype in you? So this is a time of tuning into your pragmatism. That really, the one that understands that there's a time and a place. You need to be pragmatic. You need to be resourceful. This isn't a time for big emotions. And I'll explain why in a few minutes when we talk about the Mars-Pluto opposition. But there's something about the energy of this time where we can learn. We can think through the best strategic outcome for ourselves. Oh, there's dogs outside. Can you hear those? They're going crazy. All right. Someone was walking their dog and my neighbor's dogs went nuts. Okay, so back to the video. So I went in this room because I thought it would be quieter, but I was wrong. Okay, back to the video. So in your own life, what I want you to do is I want you to be incredibly pragmatic today. I want you to say, okay, what is my strategy for getting through 2025? Because it's going to be a crazy year. And that's the intention I want you to set. I want you to set that intention for yourself where it's like, okay, I'm not going to get really invested in every little thing that comes across the news feed. I'm just not, because the reality is there's going to be all sorts of insane things that are going to be popping up. And there's going to be a lot of chaos. But it doesn't all impact you. And it doesn't all affect anything, actually. I mean, the reality is a lot of it's just noise and stupid and like isn't going to result in anything. And sometimes we need to sit back and let people spin out and figure out where they've kind of made a mistake or where you've made a mistake in your own life. That's the other energy of this. Capricorn on the high side is about maturity. And maturing enough to know where you've been played, where you've maybe believed in things that weren't necessarily true or helpful. And kind of learning and growing from it. So let's think about this Capricorn new moon, how we can set an intention. So 2025, the energy around 2025, my mother lives in an assisted living facility. And so there are a lot of shift workers. And during crossover, the changeover, it's chaotic. So like when one shift comes in and then the next shift starts and the other one leaves and the next shift starts, there's kind of this just very chaotic like hour where they're getting people up to speed or there's just a lot going on. And it seems very like whenever I call, I can never get through to anybody. So I think think of any sort of shift job, like when there's changeover, there's this period of kind of chaos and disorganization and not feeling like things are running smoothly. Okay. That's 2025. By the time we're in 2026, we're going to have such a better understanding of what the energy is going to look like. But right now, there's all sorts of like false alarms and there's fear and there's this is going to happen and then that's going to happen. And oh no, there's all the potential in a changeover. But it's really not clear yet. So the Capricorn new moon, I think, is a great opportunity for us to set our intention to be mature, strategic, and patient. and see where things are netting out. And I'm not just talking about in the political realm. It could be in your own life too. Like, this is lessons that I'm having to learn in my own life. So that's something to keep in mind. Okay. Oh, I need to plug my course. Hi, everybody. I'm Dabney Lawless, and I have a course. Yay, it's my very first course. I forgot to do that at the beginning of the video, so I'm gonna be really quick. I'm gonna put the link below, but it's called Re-Envision Your Life in 2025, or Re-Envision You 2025 with Evolutionary Astrology, and I'm gonna teach you all about how Pluto has impacted your life since 2008, what it's going to do in your life in 2000 beyond here, 2025 and beyond in Aquarius. And then I'm also going to teach you where your north and south node are to help give your life some direction. And there's going to be 2 live sessions. So it's pre-recorded with lots of cool downloads. But we're also going to have 2 live sessions, and I do a little video, a bonus video about how to make a vision board, because I want us all to have a vision for 2025, okay? So that's my little plug. Sorry, I'm not used to doing this. But anyway, the information is below in the description, and maybe I'll even pin a comment. But okay, back to the 2025 situation. Okay, so another reason why I want you to stay calm and have patience and be strategic and think things through and be methodical, be very, very pragmatic. That's the word for this New Year's, okay? Don't be pessimistic. Don't get depressed. You can feel depressed. You can feel lonely. You can feel hopeless. Those are all Capricorn words too, okay? But don't do that. Stay away from that. If you're starting to feel lonely, depressed, hopeless, all those things, I want you to come back and watch this video. Or I want you to watch some other people that have some inspirational messages to remind you that it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. We're just in the changeover. And 2025 is the changeover. The new thing isn't started yet, but the old thing is going away. And I'm talking about, when I say the old thing, I mean like basically like everything we've known. A lot of everything we've ever known is going away. And if we understand that we're not driving the car, we're not in charge, the cosmos is in charge, the gods are in charge, the God is in charge, whatever you believe that is bigger than us is in charge. They're driving the car right now. You're a passenger, okay? Change has to happen. And it can be done the easy way or the hard way, but that's really not in your control either, except in your own life. This is going to be a theme for my videos moving forward. And I'm going to say it a lot, so get used to it and sit down and listen to it for the first time here. You cannot change other people. If there's one thing you take away from this in the new year, is you can only change yourself. That's it. You can't change your kids. You can't change your parents. You can't change your best friend. You can't change the government. You can vote. And collectively, we can change the government. Collectively, we can have an impact. But in our own lives, only you can change you. And so that's what I want you to focus on. That's what my course is about too. Because the more of us that become conscious and raise our energy level and live good, peaceful, moral lives, the more that's going to become the collective. Right now, things are so broken, and they've been getting broken for a long time. I'm not talking about left and right. I'm talking about top versus bottom, and I'm going to do a whole series on that too. I've got some good stuff coming, guys, but I've just got to find the time to research it. I've got ideas galore. Okay. Did I remind you to sign up for my course? 2025. Okay. Anyway. Okay. Now the other big one. So I hope that made sense. I hope you understand what I'm saying. Be pragmatic. You can only change yourself. Let's be strategic. If you have a New Year's resolution this year, it's just to be the best version of you and to focus on yourself and be pragmatic, patient, and strategic. Plant that seed now. That's the seed I want you to plant in this moon. Okay. Mars opposition Pluto. Big one. We've already gone through one. So I've sort of talked about this. When you have transits that are kind of big on a collective level, or in your own life, like if you have like a big Pluto or Uranus transit, a lot of times the first shot, the first time it happens, you don't really know what's happening. You're just like, whoa, what's going on? This is hard. The middle one really gives you information. You're like, oh, I see what's happening here. And then there's more of a resolution at the end. Okay, because there's like retrograde motions and a bunch of astrobabble you don't need to know about, but just know a lot of these bigger cycles have they happen a few times, okay? January 3rd, we're already in this realm. January 3rd, we're having the second Pluto opposition, or Mars opposite Pluto, okay? We already had that right before the election, but it was in Cancer and Capricorn. So this is the weird thing. I actually thought that that meant that women were going to become more empowered because Capricorn was on its way out in Pluto. I was wrong. I'll admit it. But this one, okay. I actually have Mars in Leo personally. So I can speak from experience, the high side and the low side. So let's take both of these energies, break them down, and then we're going to talk about the interaction. And then we're going to talk about why the F around and find out is already begun. And how I think the F around and find out is actually really closely tied with this Mars-Pluto opposition. So the high side of Mars and Leo. So we're going to get the good stuff out of the way. And again, I have this, so don't get offended when I talk about the bad stuff because it's, you know, like there's shadow and everything. The high side in Mars and Leo is, can be very charming, can be magnanimous, can be generous, can be motivated to be a leader, can be very powerful and courageous and strong and mighty and strength. It's strength. That's the Mars and Leo archetype. It's the strength tarot card in my mind, at least. I don't know if it really is. Okay. Shadow. Narcissism, ego, self-centeredness, aggressiveness. So you can sort of see how those are flips of the same coin. So you think about CEOs, these greedy billionaire CEOs. Many of them I've worked for, believe it or not. That's another video, another story. But they embody both sides of those things. They're very charming. They are aggressive. They're assertive. They're strong. They know how to get things done. They motivate people. They inspire people. They can be very magnanimous and they draw people into their orbit. But 9 out of 10 of them are narcissists. They are egomaniacs. We have the strange X-Man, egomaniac, right? Okay. Now, and by the way, I don't think I'm a narcissist egomaniac, but even if you think so, please don't put that in the comments. Hopefully I'm just inspirational. Okay, back to the video. What I want us to learn is the Pluto and Aquarius now. We know about Pluto and Aquarius. We've talked about Pluto and Aquarius. Pluto and Aquarius, the people, the collective, it is all about change, technology. Okay. So we have these two warring factions. When you have an opposition, one planet is saying, I'm over here and this is my agenda. And then the other planet over here is like, this is my agenda. And they don't always see each other very clearly and they are at odds. Okay, so that's an important thing to realize. So what you have is Mars opposite Pluto. Pluto being your desire and your unconscious and what you want. Mars being your action, how you get things done, what you believe should happen. You know, it's your motivation. Desires versus action, deep wounds versus ego. Okay. That was the other thing I wrote down, deep wound versus ego. Okay, so what happened over the holiday was pretty interesting. So we had MAGA. If you didn't follow this, it's fascinating. But here's the find out phase. We had MAGA reacting to some posts from the new technocrats, the ex dude, who I don't really like to say his name on the video, and then Vivek Ramaswamy, I think is his name. Vivek. We'll just say Vivek because I don't know how to pronounce his last name very well. So anyway, these two guys, ridiculous. They're out here saying that H-1B visas need to be increased. Well, the MAGA people are all about anti-immigration at all costs. So suddenly, the MAGA people are like, whoa, what are you talking about? Like, why are you saying we should increase immigration? We should make America first. And then these two technocratic guys who are not elected, but just the big money guys who are the tech bros. Let's call them the tech bros versus MAGA. The tech bros basically said, well, Americans are too stupid. Americans care about the prom queen and king and Screech from, Saved by the Bell more than they care about the science and math Olympiads. They're idiots, basically is what they said. And the X-Man came right out and said, you're all morons. You got played, basically, in essence. And the MAGA people were like, what are you talking about? Like, this isn't America first. Like, what are you talking about? We got played. Like, why are we didn't elect you. We elected the orange man. Like, I'm confused. That is some Mars opposition Pluto right there. Because we have the desire. We have we're the greatest, right? People who are very strongly in their ego, thinking that they knew best. They knew what was going to happen. But it isn't what's going to happen. What they thought was going to happen, this Mars and Leo situation, where they were really just self-centered and focused on themselves, and they want to get ahead and they want to blame other people. Well, now we have this really powerful, the wealthiest man in the universe saying, no, that's not what I want. You can get rid of the people that I don't care about, the immigrants that I don't care about, that I don't employ, but the ones that make a lot more money and indentured servants, well, I need those. So you're us out of luck. And if you don't like it, I'm going to ban you from my channel. So that's Pluto and Aquarius. That's like, sorry, I win. Pluto trumps Mars. Pluto's bigger, stronger, more powerful. And this was a serious wake-up call for a lot of people. Now, is it going to absolutely change everything overnight? No. But is this the themes of what we're dealing with? Absolutely. This is another one of those warning shots of like, oh, okay, this is what's happening. The battle between MAGA and the tech bros is going to be real. The battle between what people thought they were voting for, what they're actually going to get, is real. So that's interesting. In our own personal lives, how are we finding out? Well, you have to dig deep and figure that one out. But in my own life, as I'm doing my purge, my January, packing things up to send to Goodwill, I discovered a lot of cards that my mother has given me in recent years. And because I've been struggling with things with my mom of late, because dementia's not easy, I started to remember who she really is. And then I started to remember who I really am. And I started to realize that I need to get out of my ego a little bit. And I need to sort of surrender to the process. I need to get a little less emotional. So where in your life do you need to let the battle play out? Where do you need to look deep within and say, where have you maybe been wrong about something? Where have you been battling yourself? Where have you not seen that you're a little bit Mars and you're a little bit Pluto? You represent both within you, and that battle is within you. Just like this battle in the government between the Republicans, it's all the same. They were all rowing in the same direction like a few weeks ago. This battle has always been there. It's just now being uncovered. There's a light being shined on it, and that's what this is about. So in your own life, know that there's a light being shined on a battle within yourself around you needing to release ego. You need to release desires that no longer serve you. You need to acknowledge places where you're hurt or wounded, where maybe you need to have less of an emotional reaction around them and look at them in a more intellectual way. You know, I'm not saying to get out of your heart completely, but where does your heart and your mind maybe need to come together? Maybe that's a good way to look at it, because they're not seeing one another clearly. Like, I can intellectualize some of the problems I have in my life, but how I feel them and the anger or the hurt or the inner child rage flares up. Where is there a marriage between where you're hurt and where you intellectually know what's going on? And maybe there's some healing that can take place. So my guess is the people that are finding out right now, they are always new. We always know more than we know because it's there. It's there for the taking. So Mars opposite Pluto is an opportunity for us to grab what we know is happening and heal it. So, okay, I think that's what I wanted to communicate. This video went on a lot longer than I thought it was going to, but I hope it's helpful. If you also have some Virgo energy and love to get organized and cut out sugar in January, comment below. Always subscribe, share your journey with me. I'm grateful for everybody that likes, subscribes, shares, and I want you to have a nice new year. I really do. I really want you to be prepared for that changeover energy in 2025. As we get closer to 2026, we're going to have some more understanding of things, but just know that right now it might be bumpy, but just it's a changeover. It's not forever. Let's see, anything else? Sign up for my course. The link is below. And as always, the universe is conspiring to help us. And I hope you have a lovely, lovely New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. If you're feeling depressed, lonely, or hopeless, come back to this video. Do something different. Don't give in to it. Okay, this is about pragmatism, sitting back, don't giving into the emotions, heart and mind coming together for solutions. These are kind of my advice for this time period. Okay, Happy New Year. 2025 is coming. It's an exciting time to be alive, even if it feels a little chaotic. Okay, there's a reason and a season for it all. Till next time.